If I do go like number one in a porta potty,
Yeah.
and it's funny because like you're talking about like how you're gonna dig it out, and you're like kind of disgusting. I've never looked inside of that.
Yeah.
I close my eyes, and to answer, I don't even close the door all the way because lack of airflow. Yeah. Somebody could also knock over the porta potty if they have like a tractor. You never know. So I just keep it open a little bit. You can see me in there. Like you can't see my pishka, but I'm getting.
Someone might have a tractor.
Are you a wet wipe guy? You look like a wet wipe guy.
For sure.
Yeah,
Sick, dude.
Always.
When did you start wet wipes?
Since what? Do we want to look at when the company was established, or? What kind of question is that? Like, honestly, you've been killing the questions this whole time. So how you gonna ask? When did you start eating? Literally, I was gonna like an amazing podcast host.
You've been killing the questions.
All right, guys, that is it.
Oh my god, that was funny.
Wow, that answers that, Kevin. Because I'm recently a wet wipe guy.
Yeah.
What month was it? It was May of 2020 when I first.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys, welcome back to the Millennial Mentality Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Agnelli, here with my co-host, Peter Price.
You.
And our guest today, Kevin Peteford, a defense attorney from West Palm Beach.
How you doing, guys?
Thank you guys for watching, listening, viewing, and subscribing. Your support means the world to us. As we always say, we're trying to grow this thing. Please tell your friends and family about it. We are super gracious for everything going on. And we're going to continue to push out content. We know you guys love to see and watch and meet people from the local area. So thank you.
Thank you.
Today we have Kevin Peteford on. I've heard so many things about you, Kevin. Great things. From VR to 1, 2, 3. And we actually met one night. We went out. It was Halloween.
Yeah.
We met at 1, 2, 3. I got a little frisky that night.
You did. You got super frisky.
But that was the first time I went to 1, 2, 3, and it was a great vibe. But that's the first time we met.
What's 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, never heard of her. and yeah, so I want to start off kind of right into the whole defense attorney thing. What made you kind of get into that profession, and is it something that you dreamed about your entire life?
I didn't dream about doing defense work, my entire work for at least criminal defense, but I used to be a prosecutor for Palm Beach County, which is like law enforcement attorney, where you prosecute criminals.
So sort of the opposite of a defense attorney, right?
Yeah, they're on the other side.
You're fighting
now.
the defense attorney.
Yeah, when you go to the defense attorney, it's like, oh, you went to the dark side now.
Yeah.
Not really appropriate to say, but
yeah.
But no, I mean, I've always wanted to be a police officer.
Okay.
So I then became a prosecutor,
Yep.
did that, and then I just was like, I really like criminal law, and unfortunately, prosecutors don't get paid well. I mean, the state attorney's office, it's, starting out salary, it's really low, and
Really?
it's tough to, support yourself and support a family. I mean, I'm
And
by
you work for
myself.
the state at that point, or is it the county you work
I
for?
work for the state of Florida.
Okay.
And is that why the pay is lopsided like that? Because as a defense attorney, you're private?
Private. As a defense attorney, yes, I'm
Yeah.
private.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing as like for like a public defender, which is a defense attorney that's public. It's
Yeah.
still paid extremely low. And if you think about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, whether or not you're a state attorney or you're a public defender, when you're dealing with crime in your community and your state, it's extremely, it's a low salary.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
put a little bit more money into it.
Yeah,
invest a
right.
little bit more.
So whenever you made that decision to go from a state prosecutor to a defense attorney where you're your own boss and you have your own business and it's your law firm, it was not strictly for the money, but the money had a lot of reason to do with it. I mean, what was the jump to the dark side, as they say? What was the reason for that, Lee?
Definitely flexibility, and
Okay.
definitely just, I mean, I work for myself, and I do handle cases how I believe they should be handled. I
Yeah.
don't report to anybody. I have other colleagues that are defense attorneys that will help me if I have a question or I have a big case or something. But for the most part, it's just, I was just like, you know what, let me give it a shot. I know how the system works, so it's like, I mean, a good example would be, I don't really know sports that well, but Tom Brady leaves New England, right?
Yeah.
Does he know anything about the the coaching staff of New England now when he plays them? Do you think he knows a few tricks?
Absolutely.
I look at it kind of like that, and that's, and I have a good relationship with a lot of the current state attorneys that I worked with when I was there.
Yeah.
So, I know the system, so I know how it works.
Now, this is a blanket case, right? But okay, so say you're a defense attorney and you have someone like Derek Chauvin, right? Calls you up and says, hey, this whole thing with George Floyd happened. I'm looking for a defense attorney to represent me. In a case like that especially through the media, and I'm not giving my opinion on the Derek Chauvin case, but through the media and everything is so one-sided. Is that something as a defense attorney that you take on because you know that your name will be in the media every day and you have that exposure? Or do you know, like, there's no way, or there's probably no way I'm going to win this case, I'm probably going to step back from it?
That was a really good question. No, I mean, look, there's some cases that are in the media that attorneys will take for free. They won't get paid because of what you're saying, is because they're going to be on the news.
Free marketing.
Free marketing. You're on the news, and you're on the news for a highly, publicized case.
High profile,
and you're not going to charge. Why would you charge for that? You don't need to.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, did I miss? I want to make sure I answered.
No, so I guess when choosing your cases, do you choose the ones where you're like, okay, I could definitely win this, or this is going to be a little risky, but there's going to be more exposure there?
No. So to answer that, there's no real. I wouldn't say there's no winning a case, but no, I don't take a case based on, this is a easy slam dunk for us, and I don't turn down a case that's not. It's at the end of the day, and I try to tell people this, it's just kind of guiding that person through the process of making sure everything was done correctly from the time you were arrested to the time that you either plead guilty, go to trial, or or not guilty, right? So there's a lot of things that need to be done. You're not just, a lot of people think, let me hire an attorney, the case is going to go away, or and it doesn't quite work like that. Sometimes, there's issues with a case, and you need to make sure you do the right thing legally. But it's not, sometimes you just, if you blow over the legal limit, you're most likely DUI. You're not getting that thrown out. And so it's like, you got to make sure that whether your probation, whether the fines, everything's done correctly. There's a lot of little things that go into it.
Now, when you have a client that comes to you and, to your better judgment, your inner self is telling you, yeah, this guy's super guilty, how do you put on this poker face and go to a judge or go to the prosecutor and say, yeah, my guy is not guilty? You got to believe me. I mean, is that hard showing up when the criminal, the person being prosecuted, is shady in that he has a criminal past and that he's probably lying to you, but he's looking at you and saying, believe me, my story is the truth?
Wow. It doesn't quite work like that.
Yeah.
Meaning you're not, again, I actually was just telling somebody this, that attorney-client privilege doesn't allow me to lie to the court, doesn't allow me to, to mislead, court, the state attorney's office. You have to do the right thing still. The attorney-client privilege protects myself, my communications with my client, but I can't go to the judge and be like, he didn't do it. It doesn't really work. You do file right off the bat, basically a plea of not guilty with the court, and you're not, it's a document, but basically it's, the client, the defendant, they're innocent until they're proven guilty or they plead guilty. They change their plea. For somebody, I guess, to kind of answer your question, hopefully, is for somebody that is guilty, right? The best thing that maybe you need to do is just maybe, make sure you research the entire case, but at the same time, you want to provide mitigation about somebody. Yeah. Because especially, in Palm Beach County, they have diversion programs, right? For somebody that, if you, in Palm Beach County, if you get a DUI, but you didn't crash into somebody, you didn't blow over 3 times the legal limit, you didn't also have a second charge like resisting an officer without violence or driving a suspended license, your DUI actually is going to get dropped, and you're going to be able to plead to a reckless driving without really the state attorney's, the defense attorney or the state attorney's office really doing anything. So when I say mitigation, you provide information about that person that, they're in college, they're in, they work hard, they've done things for the community. There's a lot of people that just make a mistake. They make a mistake. And, and I was kind of trained that everybody should get a break. At least one good break, I think, is fair. Can't go and kill somebody.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. Now, like a little bit of a myth-busting thing is that you always hear 10,000 different stories about how to handle a DUI if you're ever in that situation. Say I go to a bar with my fiance and I've had 2 or 3 drinks. I'm driving home. I'm getting pulled over for going 5 over the speed limit. I know in my head I'm not really fucked up, but shit, I might blow and the computer might say he's tipsy past 0.7507, whatever it is, right? When I get pulled over, I've heard now that you're supposed to resist blowing and then wait until they bring you into the local detention center to take a blood level. Is that true? Or?
I don't know who told you that.
Yeah.
That is really bad.
Okay.
So basically, I can't advise anybody on to whether or not to give a breath sample, but you're never giving a breath sample of your, until you are brought to that facility, which is the breath alcohol testing facility. It's nearby. It's actually near the jail. I think it might be attached to the jail. I've never been there. But so when you give that breath sample, the case is going to be closed after that if you blew over a .08. Your DUI, right? And
but they definitely do it sometimes on the side of the road, right?
They do it on the side of the road definitely for juveniles. But I mean, in my experience as somebody who was a lead DUI, prosecutor, you don't do the breath because it's called the Intoxilizer 8000.
It's like a good mixed drink name.
Sounds like Harry Potter's upgraded broom.
I'll take 2 on the rocks.
Yeah.
No, they that's at the facility, and that's calibrated and whatnot. The ones you can order those on Amazon that will give you a quick breath reading, but that's not gonna. You can't use that in court.
So that's nonetheless like probable cause almost. Like this guy, he blew in, he's over on this breathalyzer little thing.
So, wow, this is good. This is really good. So you're going to get arrested you're already arrested for DUI by the time you're giving a breath sample. So, and that's
how though?
So there's 2 ways you could prove DUI in Florida. Either you blow over .08 or, according to the jury instruction, I got to make sure I know this correctly, you're under the influence of alcohol to the extent that your normal faculties are impaired.
But who judges that?
The jury.
The cop, though, at the time.
Sure, the cop, exactly.
But that's a subjective statement in the fact that he's judging you based off of, he doesn't know you sober, so how is he judging you to say you're intoxicated?
You've never met somebody and you're not like, that guy's a little drunk.
You're right.
They go through like a course to learn the signs and things that show.
They do.
Yeah, they've got field sobriety tests.
You probably absolutely could tell. I'm just playing devil's avocado.
Yeah,
I'm playing the defense attorney.
It's like when a cop says it smells like weed in the car. Like, what do you mean?
Talking about
It's like up to him.
Yeah.
They have that power when they get the badge, I think.
No, they're doing, the first thing they're going to see before they even get that DUI investigation started is they're going to look at your eyes. Are they bloodshot? Are they glassy? They're going to smell alcohol. You've smelled alcohol on somebody. Slurred speech. A lot of times they'll look at, your driving pattern a lot of times is why you're getting pulled over. Right? If you're swerving, that's
a reason.
A reason. And a lot of times, like, I see people and officers will write down that when they ask you for your driver's license, like they give the insurance card, like they don't give the right documents or whatnot. And at that point, they're going to say, okay, I think you're DUI. I'd like you to provide some field sobriety exercises. That's where you hear the walk and turn. Yeah. That's the one-legged stand, the alphabet. They're called the Romberg alphabet. And
which I can't do sober.
The alphabet they ask you to do it backwards?
It's not backwards. That's the myth right there. Everybody thinks it's backwards. All you have to do, and you guys should actually try this on the pod, is do the alphabet without singing it, right? So normally you do A, B, C. Wait. How do you do
A, B, C, D,
So now try to say the alphabet.
A, B, C, D, E. How long do you want me to go? I think I got it.
Yeah.
If you just really focus on one point in space and stare at it.
But if I was tipsy, I don't know. I'd start singing.
And then but then you get to it and it's like LMNOP. And
You ever see that video of the guy doing the walk in front of? The guy's there's like a meme video, but it was an old white drunk guy.
Reno 911. Yeah.
And he's doing the step in front of the step, and he gets like the last step or something, he falls over, he goes, oh fuck, I'm drunk.
I know, he's like dancing. He goes, I only dance when I'm drunk or some shit. Yeah.
I think the whole thing, and this is why I ask these questions, is because to a normal person off the street like me, you hear these things through either TV or TV shows and stuff like that, and you don't really realize the intricacies that go into
For sure.
a DUI.
I've definitely heard many people say you never blow. Like what you were saying.
Yeah.
Never blow.
You wait until you get.
And then at that point, once they get you to the jail and you're at the 8,000 thing, do you not have a choice? Like that you have to.
So here's what's gonna happen: they arrest you for DUI. You shut the. Do you guys curse on here?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
You
yeah.
shut the fuck up. But so you're gonna be at the breath alcohol testing facility, and they're gonna ask you, will you provide a breath sample? And then you're gonna say, I don't know. And then they're gonna read to you what's called implied consent, which is basically, if you don't provide a breath sample, your license is gonna be suspended for a year. Blah blah blah. So they basically tell you that, and then it's up to you if you want to provide a breath sample. I will tell you that if you've never had a DUI before, you've never had your license suspended for not giving a breath sample before, you are eligible for a hardship license. So,
What's that mean?
Which is what?
it means you can drive for necessary
To work.
purposes, work,
Yeah.
Publix, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Not legal advice, but again, what's more important, to you, and that's what it comes down to.
You can get that license if you don't blow or if you.
If you don't blow or if you blow.
Oh, but
Because
you've
if
never
you
had
blow
this
and
issue
you
in the
blow over a
past.
.08, your license is suspended for 6 months.
Okay.
And then there's a fine that comes with that.
Well, the fine comes with the DUI
Charge.
which is like probation and fines and fees. And
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Now, off the attorney stuff, he was trying to say everything's so perfect, and you did a really good job.
You did good,
great.
dude.
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, I wake up to a text this morning, and literally it's like, I feel like I'm in a Jason Bourne movie. It's 4 p.m. and it's an address. It's like, I don't get a good morning. I don't get like, hey, Kev, excited for today. It's just like, I feel like I'm getting like recruited for a fraternity.
Dude, we've been playing too much VR. I'm taking this military shit too serious.
He puts the address on there. He doesn't even put like what city it's in. I'm supposed to I open up. I got coordinates out. I was like, well, it can't be that one.
Now, whenever it's funny, I always like to see this. Like, so say you're at a bar. We'll shout out 123. You're at 123 with a few buddies, and it's like 5 p.m. and you'll get a call from like a client or like a state prosecutor. Is that weird going from like fucking around with your buddies into answering your phone and being super professional, like switching over just that fast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super weird, but I mean, you get depending on who's calling, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I've had situations where somebody calls me when I'm at like. I had somebody call me at 4 when I was at 4. So if you're at 4, it's like probably like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And they got arrested. I was like, ugh. So like, luckily, like at that point, I'm not going to be able to go. There's nothing I could do now. But in the morning, you go and help them at the first appearance. But it's still like I'm going to take the call and I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
But people call all times a day, and
It's hard.
it's fun though. But yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin, you are an incredibly handsome guy.
you
You
doing?
are, in the West Palm scene. Are you single?
I am.
And how is that dating life like?
It's amazing. No.
Yeah.
No, I tell people this. There's 2 ways of doing it. Either you put the energy in going out, doing the 1, 2, 3, and becoming a regular at 1, 2, 3, where you look at other regulars, you're like, yeah, what's up?
Would you call yourself a regular 1, 2, 3?
I would definitely.
Yeah.
Or you can then mix that with doing the dating apps.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
right.
No, it's pretty exhausting.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's
What are you looking for?
a relationship.
You are?
Yeah.
Right. Now, whenever you go out, do you feel like being at a bar is a great time and place to find a relationship?
You never know. I mean,
Okay.
it really depends. Why is that person there?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you never really know what you're gonna run into. But
Are you the type of guy that if you're at 1, 2, 3 and you see not a regular and she's a beautiful girl and she walks up to the bar, you going to shoot your shot?
I'm like, I've never been here before.
Yeah.
How is this place?
And then somebody like JoJo or
Yeah.
hey Kevin, do you want another Heineken? I'm like, are they talking to me?
Yeah.
I've never been here before.
Yeah.
How is this
This
place?
place is nice. Good music. What was the question? I'm sorry.
do you shoot your shot when you see someone that's
Yeah,
attractive?
man, you gotta shoot
Got
your shot,
to,
right?
yeah.
Come on.
Good.
It's funny you say that because we were talking about this earlier. and this kind of goes into the shooting your shot as well as legal shit.
Yeah.
This girl, it's so weird that this happened. She follows me on Instagram, right? And I woke up to it, so it was like 3 hours ago. So I was like 2 a.m. She follows me. I follow her back, approved, whatever. I then look at her Instagram, very nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't always do this, but I was like, why is this? I always think to myself, why is that person following you? There's always a reason, right?
Yeah.
Because I also have a public profile. You don't need to follow me.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I look at it like two things. Either you're interested in me, or you're interested maybe in legal advice. So
Probably not legal unless at 2 a.m. in the morning.
So she had she had her full name on her profile. So I did a quick check.
What does that mean?
On the booking blotter?
Kinda. I looked to see if she has any open cases in public.
To find out if it's legal advice.
No, she had a.
And maybe the address, who knows?
So now look, you could, when you do that search, you could find tickets, divorce filings, misdemeanor cases, felony cases.
How many parking tickets, Kevin? Tell us.
She had one to open ticket, but she never did anything about it, and her license was suspended. So I messaged her.
No way! Stop!
Bro, I swear, dude. Like this only happens to me.
Shut the fuck
It's so
up.
great.
That was your opening statement?
Oh, what? Wait for it. Come on, opening statement. What is this, trial? See, this is your first mistake. Don't do what I do. I go, hi, name. Thank you for the follow. I don't know you, but based on your pictures, I definitely would like to. But hold on. Stop. This is the best part. Also, not to make this any more weird, but your license may be suspended.
Are you kidding me? And now you have a restraining order. What she wrote back? You didn't tell us what she wrote
I got
back.
a new client.
Oh my god! Stop.
I swear,
That is so funny.
that's never happened before. Like I've gotten clients in some weird ways, but not that
That
way.
is funny as fuck.
So is this a client you're gonna pursue?
But, which in the court,
And-
in the
and-
court of
no,
law?
no.
Do you cross those lines ever?
Well, that's the funny thing is like I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
No, honestly, it's a red light ticket, so it's like you know,
Like a
could fix
camera
that.
ticket?
Yeah, those are bad.
Yeah.
How do you beat a camera?
You don't.
Yeah, sick.
That is fucking great.
Oh,
Now,
Holy
funny.
shit, dude, that's funny, man.
and as far as like anything else, like, are you on the dating apps?
Oh God, yeah.
And
They're
how is
great.
that?
Terrible.
Yeah?
yeah
Those
it's the
suck.
worst.
Would you guys rather bang a chick that banged 1,000 dudes or one animal?
What animal is it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Don't say a cat.
One that's got a bigger penis than you.
Oh, so a horse.
Horse, yeah.
There's probably a lot of animals on that list.
Yeah.
Let's just say dog because a lot of people have dogs and that's like a thing.
Is that a
But
fact?
yeah, that probably I think is worse of a thing to do because it's so domesticated. You know, you
Wait,
really got to be
And you're gonna
questioning
see it every day. It's one thing if it's like a chicken on a farm. It's like you could leave the farm.
That thing's definitely got a
Yeah.
small penis.
Yeah. 1,000 dudes, I would say.
Yeah? You would?
1,000
duh.
dudes is a lot of dudes.
It's so
man.
many dudes.
It's a lot.
Oh God, I could see that.
There's no way you're the
Is it 1,000 dudes at once? No.
Nah.
Over time? What are we
I
talking?
don't think she's
about?
making it out of that
Are we
one.
talking like 200 like during like December, January? Are we talking?
2021 was a crazy year.
Because there's no way you're the best sex. You know.
But also, you got to think, if that horse was hung, like, you also probably will not be better sex.
But I'm hoping that's the only horse she's ever fucked. You know, if she.
Yeah.
you
What
know.
if she's
It's
like
one animal, just
she's
one.
like 500 dudes and a horse? It's like
At that point, I feel like 500 is like almost just as bad as 1,000, isn't it?
well, I mean,
And no shade to girls who's fucked 1,000 dudes.
It's impressive
it's
stats.
It's a lot.
lifetime. No, the
So-
dating-
We got no answer for that
The
one?
dating apps suck. For example, like, and I suck.
Okay, well,
And I'm part of the reason is like because sometimes I have fun with it. So like this one girl like messaged me and she goes smile 10 out of 10. I go body 20 out of 10.
Okay.
But it didn't really go well because I think I wasn't saying that her face was nice. So
Oh.
I haven't heard.
You could
from
be
her.
overthinking it a little bit.
Oh,
Kevin.
always.
Yeah. And you could just say you're working. You know, you're getting clients. I guess sometimes it works.
Not on the dating apps.
That's true.
Just on Instagram.
No, I think I love talking to people who are in the dating scene because I've been out of it for 3 years. Pete's been out of it for a year and a half.
Yeah.
It's interesting because when you're in a relationship, you're like, how is everyone single? Like, it's so easy not to be single and this and that. And then you're single and you're like, this is fucking hard, you know?
It's.
Have you ever been in a long relationship?
I've been in a pretty long relationship before.
Yeah?
Yeah, a while ago.
And that ended a few years ago?
Yeah, like 3 years ago.
Okay. And that was due to you or the partner?
It was mutual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just went different ways?
Even though it's never really mutual.
Yeah.
Mutual's a safe word. Yeah, we went separate ways.
Okay.
But yeah,
And do you want marriage and the kids and the whole thing?
I'd like that. That'd
Yeah.
be really nice. Yeah.
I could see you being a fun dad.
I hope so.
A little
yeah.
quirky.
I was thinking, I was like, I just want to adopt a kid at this point. Like,
Yeah.
you know, everybody's like, maybe you should get a dog, but I was like, I'd like something that communicates back a little
Yeah.
bit. Even if I have to go into like adopting 9 or 10-year-old at this point.
Yeah.
You know, just to like play sports
You're
with the
with,
kid.
yeah.
You know, that's my thing is I don't want to be too old and like not being able to like throw a baseball
Yeah,
or a
yeah,
football
exactly.
around.
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense.
I told Paige this. I think it's in my heart to adopt one day if I have like 2 or 3 kids, and I would love to be able to change someone's life, you know,
Yeah.
in a positive way. There's a lot of kids in the foster and the adoption programs, and I think it'd be fucking cool, man. Okay, now when you go to these bars and you're mingling and you're talking with these people, what is if you're a regular at a bar, I guess I'll say, do you go out and you're getting drunk, tipsy? Do you go out and have one? Is it a scene where you just like to mingle? Why would you call yourself a regular at a bar, and what does that mean to you?
Well, I'm not driving,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you got to be safe. But no, I mean, it really depends on the night.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it depends like on what I'm doing. It's like I'm not trying to be there all the time getting hammered.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, if you're, what else are you gonna really do? I mean, I think what it comes down to with being the regular deterrent, I love the podcast you guys did with Doer.
Yeah.
Is, you know, there's just this familial, I don't know if that's the word, but like it's nice when you know everybody that like either works there or goes there. It's just nice, and it's also just good. You know,
community.
People like come to Delray. I'm like, fuck Delray. like you know, I don't. Everybody's like, oh, what's that tin can place they call it? It's
Tin Roof.
Tin Roof. People love Tin Roof. Like, oh, they have live music. I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, is Blink 182 there? Like, but no, I mean, no, I don't try to get too hammered because then then you get sloppy and then,
you make bad
and my
decisions.
memory is bad enough,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not gonna remember anything
Yeah.
that we talked about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was having a conversation with a dude in a sauna, which sounds a little weird, but
Wait,
hear
you
me
talk
out.
in the sauna with people?
I don't. He started talking to me. I am in the sauna. I am head down.
Where were
Don't
your
talk to me.
headphones
Weren't in. That was the
That's
biggest
your first
mistake.
mistake,
Yeah.
dude.
But
I
we-
just pretend like they were. Someone says something, you just keep staring straight
That's
at the
fucked,
wall.
dude. That's fucked. But we were talking about the gym and balance and work life balance.
Yeah.
And we always talk about how we try to find this balance in life where it is work and life and everything is kind of, balanced correctly. And he made a good point, and it struck me. And he's like, I don't really believe in balance ever. He's like, I don't think that's a thing. I think it's something you could try to pursue, but I think in one way or the other, the life's pendulum is swinging one way or the other. And you're either pursuing your goals or you're not. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And I thought about it for a second. I thought that was a pretty good point. Do you think there is such thing as work-life balance?
I would like to think so, because otherwise constantly pursuing it for the rest of your life sounds exhausting.
But I think that is the game. I think because
I
think about it, right?
Yeah.
You have a goal of making X amount tattooing in 2022.
Yeah.
If you don't pursue that head down, busting your ass to get that done, it won't get done. And if you stop on a Friday and you're like, I'm not booking anyone this weekend because I got to have my balance and I got to go out with Joe and have fun and this and that, it's not going to happen.
Sure. But that's like not... I think that the right plan... Like, then I wasn't planning for a work-life balance, If I set that goal for myself that's unattainable without taking days off, then I never had a plan for work-life balance to begin with, Like, the plan... Having a plan to make X amount of money in a year and having a plan for work-life balance are two different goals, Like, I think work-life balance is attainable as long as your plan revolves around trying to attain work-life balance.
And what is your definition of a work-life balance?
For me, I think...
Because if your happiness comes from achieving goals and that's really the balance,
yeah.
then that's the answer right there. And I think that, like, for me, I'm coming to this thing where, as I always say, like, I'm a sled dog, and I'm the happiest when I'm going after goals and endlessly pursuing them.
Yeah.
I think I try to get these short-term highs and reliefs where I'm like, oh, I'm going out this weekend, I'm having that balance, and then Monday turns around and I'm fucking miserable, right? Because that's in my head, that's the balance of working and not. But then when I find myself just head down day after day after day after day, creating that momentum in my life and going after something full speed, that's my happiness. And I think that's really the goal.
So I think the answer is different for every person then.
That's
like
true.
work-life balance or like doesn't have to mean going out on the weekends. If
Yeah.
it means working on the weekends because that's what makes you happy, I think the answer of what work-life balance is just being happy in both work and life. In all aspects of your life, you're happy and fulfilled.
Yeah.
And if that means on Sundays you work because that's what you enjoy doing, then
Go
your
after
balance is on point, But I think it sucks to think that you can't ever achieve work-life balance. That sounds like we're just stuck in
Limbo.
not being happy, So, I mean, what he said doesn't sound stupid to me. I
Yeah.
get the point that he was making, that, like, if you're going to be fulfilled here, you're going to be lacking somewhere else, but I don't think that's necessarily the requirement.
What is this guy even like? What was he wearing? Was
He
naked?
was
naked?
He was a gym bro.
naked.
Yeah, no.
naked.
He did have his shirt off, but he was a gym bro. But like for you, like your work-life balance, how do you go about that? I mean, if you have plans with your buddies on a Saturday night, and you get a call from a high-profile client who needs you, I mean, where does that play a role? I mean, how do you attack that?
Well, see, I've only been doing this I just started this, in May or June, right? So I'm still learning how to figure out that because it's tough. In the beginning, I'd be out with somebody, and if I got a call, because I'm paying a lot of money to be high up on Google,
Yeah.
if I got a phone call, I'm going to take it. I'm scared shit. If this doesn't work, then I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So I would take it, and I would sacrifice a brief, amount of time over a dinner or a date, and I would take it, and was that the right thing to do at the time? It's tough to say.
Yeah.
I'm learning now that take the call, screen it, figure out, is it an emergency, or can I call you back in an hour in the morning and take a message? And that's something that I have to learn and work on, and it's tough.
Yeah. And to that point, I do kind of agree with what the guy... Maybe this is more the point that he was trying to make in the sauna, that, like, I think work-life balance is difficult to obtain, and if, like, at this point in your life you don't have work-life balance, it's not a sign that you're doing anything wrong or that, like, you're fucking up. But it's a long process where you kind of learn, what it is that makes you happy and what that balance means to you, because it is different for everyone, Some people it is, financially is the more important end of their goal list, and that's where you put your focus.
I just think it's hard for me because I'm not a balanced person. I'm either 1,000% into something or I'm 1,000% and I'm not.
And that's what I was going to say to your point when you were saying, like, you try to take the night off on a weekend, you go out and party with the boys, but then you're miserable on Monday. And that's because you didn't have the balance while you were partying, Just because you're partying doesn't mean you got to get fucked up and feel like shit the next day.
Yeah.
You can go out and have a good time with the boys and just take it easy, and have a couple, and participate, but you don't have to, like, go hard because it's it's your one night out, and then you can be in the gym on Monday.
I mean, I'm very lucky because right now with what happened with COVID, a lot of courts have switched over to Zoom.
Zoom, yeah.
A lot. I mean, not all, but it really depends on the judge. So I mean, I was telling people I was in Yosemite National Park, like high up in court, doing a Zoom hearing. I mean, it wasn't a big full blown hearing, but it was just a brief one. And I was able to travel, and I had internet luckily, and I was just like, this is
You see Kevin at the top of a mountain trying to get fucking service.
I'm just like, Judge, not guilty. Mr. Peterford, did you say guilty?
Yeah.
You cut out.
No, but it's, I'm very lucky to be able to do what I do because you get to help people, and I have a little bit of balance.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
And another thing that I listened to a podcast on this week was success and fulfillment, because I had a conversation with a friend. I had talked about it a few podcasts ago, but I feel like at our age, a lot of us or some of us are getting success and whatever that means in a professional sense, that means making good money and, you know, going up the corporate chain or whatever you're doing, you know, success in that matter. But fulfillment is a completely different thing. And I feel like a lot of people are struggling, myself included, because you could be successful in whatever realm you're doing, but you feel unfulfilled. And fulfillment comes from fulfillment. It comes from, you know, making people happy and giving and growing and giving back, where success is something monetary and it's a label. And so it's tough because, like, for you, what is your why with being a defense attorney? It might seem obvious, but does it come from the success or does it come from the fulfillment?
When people are in that situation that they think their life is over because they just got arrested, and then to help them through it, and 2 or 3 months later that it wasn't as bad as it seemed in the beginning and they got through it, whether it's me just by your side or me doing a little bit of legal work, to see them happy at the end and reach out to me and say thank you so much, and just, it means the world, because you're really in, like, think about that, you're dealing with people's, like, lives. They're in my hands, that their liberty, you know, is in, I don't even know what I was about to say.
I can remember the first time I found out that I had a warrant for my arrest and that, like, I had to go to jail. It does feel like your life's over, you know? In that moment, I was thinking, like, damn, I fucked up so bad, you know? And, like, how am I ever going to recover from this? And in hindsight, like, it was a fucking, like, blip in my life that didn't really affect anything. But it is a devastating moment when you realize how much trouble you think you're in. So to have someone by your side does make a huge difference.
Yeah, and I mean, my biggest thing is just being there. Just being available for them is something that I just try to focus on. And just, you know, whether, you know, they're just having a little bit of anxiety, when, you know, sometimes you're just having dark thoughts about your case, about what's going to happen. I can't make any promises, but I can guarantee I'll do whatever I can to make sure it gets done properly. But, you know, you're in those moments sometimes where you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And you have to think back to times where you felt like that before and then you got out of it, right? You have to remind yourself that I've been in dark places before and I've gotten out. And even though I don't see the light at the end of this tunnel, I will get there. So it's tough. It's easier. Trust me, it's easier said than done. Whether you're arrested or dealing with a breakup, you know it.
Yeah, right.
And to that point, is it hard to not take the work home with you when you're dealing with people's lives?
I'm always working.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always working.
Yeah.
I'm always on the go. I'm always doing something, but I'm always working, and just, you know, it's to answer your question about, you know, is it, you know, taking it home with you? I mean, what do you mean by that? Do you mean, like,
does it ever
mentally
affect you?
Does it ever affect you? You know, like, you're laying in bed and you're thinking, this person's getting fucked over and I don't know if I could even help them.
Do you have to be able to disconnect a little bit, like, in order to be able to sleep?
Yeah, no.
Like, honestly, at some point, it's not their problem, but they put themselves in this situation to a certain extent, you know?
To a certain extent they did, but as long as you manage the expectations of your client and you don't promise things that are not guaranteed, and that's the thing is, you know, everybody's always asking me, you know, what's going to happen? What are the chances? What is this? I can't make them guarantees, and I tell them, you know, if they didn't hire me already, you know, if another attorney's going to make you a guarantee, go hire them right now, but make sure they put that guarantee in writing, because you can't make any guarantees in this racket.
No.
You have to be straight up with them and just tell them, like, look, stop asking me for, you know, chances and stuff. I mean, I'll tell you based on experience with a particular judge, a particular, you know, set of facts, but
can't give you a percentage.
As long as you just, and that's what I try to do is you know, as long as I'm just brutally honest with them, and that's what I am, they appreciate that. I don't sugarcoat anything.
Are judges like teachers in the fact that you can get one judge and it'll be one verdict and another judge and it'll be completely different?
It wouldn't be, I wouldn't call it a verdict, but you could have one judge, and you know, I'm in that situation where, you know, somebody's looking at maybe possibly taking a case to trial, and they say, Kevin, you know, what are my downsides, right? Will I go to jail, right? There's some judges that will sentence you to jail for like a first DUI, and there's some that won't, and you have to know and that's why, kind of going back to like why I do what I do, is I've been around most or all the judges, and I have a general sense of likelihood based on what can happen, it's discretionary.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really is. So,
Do you take on any pro bono work?
I mean, I have from time to
Yeah,
time
yeah,
just
yeah.
helping people. I mean, it's depending on the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I watched that show Suits. You ever seen it?
I know Suits.
Yeah.
Suits is good.
Yeah, and that's how I learned all
Really,
my...
just it's accurate.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking show. But it was cool because I learned what I thought was a lot about that whole system. What's the difference between a lawyer and an attorney? I never get
Same
that.
thing.
Okay, it always fucking
Same
throws
thing.
me off.
Same thing. One definitely sounds different than the other.
Yeah,
but same thing, yeah.
Now I'm
I don't know which one's sexier. You know,
Yeah,
attorney
yeah.
at law. You know, a lawyer. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, what do you do whenever you're
What do
not...
you have in your Tinder bio?
Yeah, that's true.
Is it attorney or lawyer?
I think it's just lawyer.
Okay, well,
okay.
that's what we think
Yeah.
sexier then.
What do you do when you're not lawyering and you're not at 1, 2, 3 or going out? What are your hobbies?
I like play golf, work out.
VR, baby.
VR.
Let's talk about some VR for
Okay.
a little bit.
Are we doing it? All
Let's
right.
talk about VR, man. This shit's
You
crazy.
gotta sit in this seat. Yeah, VR.
That shit's nuts, bro. So Kevin put me on. I just bought the Oculus 2 the other day. I've had it for like 5 days now. And Kevin for like 3 days in a row was like, bro, VR.
Mm-hmm.
I hit him up. I'd be like, you want to get on COD? He'd be like, VR.
Well, it's because like I'm playing COD with you, which is Call of Duty Warzone. You've probably heard of it, and you're just like the sweatiest person at it. Like it's so bad, and you have somebody like me who I'm not athletic, whether it's real life, virtual life, Warzone, wherever it is. I'm not good at it. And like we haven't really played before. We don't hang out that much. So like you're like, you want to play COD? I was like, you sure? And like I'm just getting like killed immediately, and it just I feel bad for you because you're really good at it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I figured I was like, and the reason why I was like, you know what? Come do this Oculus with me because I'm good at it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm gonna, and then literally he's there playing for probably 2 hours, and he's just sweating it up. He's like going around corners like it's SWAT team. I was like, what the hell?
That shit was really fun, man. I felt like I was playing paintball again. I swear.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
using the same sort of like tactics, you know. But so VR is crazy, man. I didn't realize how like immersive it really is, or how intense it really is. Like especially coming from playing Call of Duty on a controller for so long. Like there's no crouch button.
No.
You crouch.
You literally
And
just
when I
like-
realized this, it was actually funny as fuck. I realized this, and I'm like, Kevin, there's no crouch button, right? Like, do I just crouch? He goes, yeah, dude, you can go prone, too. And all of a sudden, I look over, and Kevin's guy is laying flat on the ground.
We're just laying next to
Which
each
I
other.
can only imagine means Kevin is laying on the floor in his apartment as he's doing that.
I'm in my underwear, windows open, doors, everything's just like I don't give a shit.
So funny, man. But it's crazy, dude. Like you were saying, to look around a corner of a wall, like you walk up to that wall in the game, and then you like peek around the corner. You know, it's fucking crazy.
I do notice that, like, I don't know if it was because I was hungover, but I woke up the next morning, not after VR, but just I was having like a VR
Withdrawal?
hybrid dream withdrawal.
Okay.
I don't know what it was. I would wake up and I would see like my hands, but like I wasn't sure if they were actually my hands, and like it was so scary. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing right now, and I kept like blinking and stuff, but.
Oh my god, that's
then-
actually funny.
I get a little dizzy too. I noticed that.
Yeah,
You
so
said
I
were
told
doing
you,
that.
the first day I played for a few hours and was fine, no problem. The next 2 days that I played, I maybe only got in for like 20 or 30 minutes before I was like, ooh, I think I got to take a break, and it made me feel a little nauseous.
I know I was gonna bring you some Dramamine. I'm sorry I didn't do that. But
Okay, so I just got today these like motion sickness bands, which,
didn't.
dude,
You're so into it. Like you're like,
well,
oh,
I want
Wait,
to
what
be
do you
able to
mean, what does it
participate.
do?
he's got to go back to war.
Dude, I gotta get back in the field, bro. Dude, it's so funny. So as soon as I ordered it, I wake up the next morning into a group chat with Kevin and all his boys. It's like, hey, Bravo team, we got a new addition to the squad. Once Pete finishes his basic training, it's boots on the ground. 10-4.
1100.
He was at 4 a little too late the other day.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
boys, I'm behind enemy lines. I need extract.
That is so fucking great.
It was
You know
so
what's good
funny.
though? I will say they have like workouts on there. And
Yeah.
I've been doing this like boxing workout.
Yeah.
And it's cool because you have like Kanye West playing, and then you're hitting these bags that are
Yeah.
like flying all over the place, and I'm sitting there. I put my Apple Watch on. My heart rate's 155. Literally, and the controllers, it's sweating. It's like flying off. It's bad. But
it does feel like even playing the military game and like holding the gun up and walking around and shit.
Yeah.
Like I woke the next day and like I felt it a little bit, you know. Not to sound like a bitch. I swear I work out sometimes.
No,
but it's better than it's more active than sitting in a chair with a
100%.
controller for hours. You know, at least you're moving.
Now,
But hold on, I want to talk about the motion sickness bands for a second because I got these things in the mail today, and it is literally just a sweatband with a plastic bead in one spot, and the directions are just to wear it in this one like pressure point on your wrist, and that's gonna fix it. It's literally just a sweatband with a plastic bead on it.
I think it's a mental thing. That's my hypothesis.
I don't know, dude. So that brings me to my next point, which, do you remember like back in the day when we would play like baseball and shit, and they had those necklaces with like the magnets in it? The baseball necklaces?
No.
A lot of baseball players had them. It was like a plastic clip.
Okay,
Like that braided material.
yeah.
Where do you play baseball at? What is this?
Maybe you also remember it was almost like a Live Strong bracelet, but it had like a magnet sort of thing in it.
I was on the bowling team. I don't know.
People at like kiosks in the middle of the mall would try to sell you one too and be like, look, put it on. And then you'd like stick your arm out and then you'd balance on one leg. They'd try to tip you over and like, do you believe in that shit or is that all mental also?
I think it's all mental.
You got sold.
I think the mind is so much more subconsciously powerful than you think it is. And that's why I'm a huge proponent of like anxiety and emotions affect physical health so much, because if you have something in your head and you stress about it and you worry about it and all this stuff compounds, you will become physically sick. And if you put something on or you wear something and you're thinking, okay, this is the connection, it will get your mind out of it. You know, I think a lot of drugs you take, like over-the-counter drugs or anything like that, it does work physically to a certain extent. I'm sure there's a reason behind these bands, but you put them on and suddenly it's like one shoes when we were in 5th grade. You put them on, you're like, "Ooh, I'm good at basketball." Yeah, and it's like it doesn't work like that, you know. But that's the connection that we make. It's crazy. The last thing on VR. My mind, the way it works. Whenever I think VR, I think a different VR. You know, you ever dabble in that VR?
No.
What are you talking about?
Porn?
Oh.
You never done that yet?
No, I didn't.
You gotta try it. When you try it, call me.
Why would you tell him that? I know somebody that did.
Was it life-changing?
It's a thing already?
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
from what I'm told.
Because you put it on and then the person's on you, you know?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
So I'm not gonna say who, but he's in.
We play with him?
Yeah.
Okay, I know who.
But well,
we only play with like 2 guys.
It's 2 other guys. It's 50-50.
Yeah.
But he said there's a setting where you could just like you change. You have to go to a website and you hit the setting. And
it's that.
Yeah.
I bet. Okay, so the next move is like,
how that works,
you know, the fleshlight.
Yeah.
Someone needs to
If
make
you
the
combine
VR
it too,
fleshlight,
yeah.
right, where you connects to your headset.
Yeah.
And then
I'm sure it's out there.
hands-free.
Yeah.
Some guys would never leave their house again, I think.
You come over next week and I have a VR.
He's got 6 VRs all charged up.
I'm playing fucking COD, babe. I swear.
There's also I saw. Like, for the future of VR, actually, it exists now, but it's, like, not mainstream, but they've got a box that hangs around your neck and, like, sits right here, and it emits different smells based on, like, what you're doing in the VR.
Yeah.
So, like, you're running through fucking Nuketown or something, it might smell like fresh cut grass or what fucking smoke bombs going off, you know?
What if you're running through Pornhub?
Then it might smell gnarly, dude.
Hot and sweaty. Yeah. I think it's so interesting. I want to try. But here's a question I got for you, Kevin. You find an amazing woman and you want to impress her, and you're gonna take her out on a first date local, and you want to impress the fuck out of her. Where are you taking her?
Avocado Grill.
Okay.
I used to work there.
Do you have we've talked about this before. Do you have like a routine on first, like not a routine, but like you know, is it?
I rotate between Avocado Grill, Elisabetta's, and I don't do Cucina. But I like those 2.
Okay.
They're good. I mean, it's good food.
You know what's hard on first dates is looking at the menu and trying to have a first date conversation too. You ever?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm bad at doing the 2.
Yeah, like because you're deep into a conversation, it's going great, and then the waiter keeps coming up to you, and they're like, "What do you want?"
Minute.
Yeah, like 10 times.
I was you always know because I used to when I serve tables, I always knew when somebody's on a first date
Mm-hmm.
because at Avocado Grill, I'm like, you guys want some guac? And they look at each other like, you like guac? I'm like,
yeah.
you
Exactly.
know, it's like,
Yeah.
that's usually you knock that out right away. But no, it's the first dates it's really hit or miss, and you guys haven't been on them, so it's like it goes off of just like connection, being able to hold a conversation together, and just not just talking about like what you're watching on Netflix or anything the whole time. It's
Do you usually know pretty? Because I was a first date guy when I was single. I wasn't like a Netflix and chill person. I wanted to take someone out and see them out, you know, in that realm. And I knew pretty instantly every time whether it was something I was going to jive or not.
Sure.
And it's very hard if off the bat you know it's not jiving to like sit through a whole dinner. That sucks. How do you get out? Fake call?
No, you just ask for a check 45 minutes in.
Okay.
No, it really depends. And I feel like the other person kind of knows too.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right,
I mean,
right.
you can come up with a good excuse, but I mean, for the most part, that's a rare. It has to be really bad. Like, this one's great. May I?
Yes.
Oh God, I can't eat kapow anymore. I'm literally at Kapow first date. It's going pretty well.
Kapow
too.
is where?
The newer
Downtown
bar.
Clematis.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have one in Boca. I guess that's the one that I'm not going to go to anymore. But I'm literally mid bao bun bite. You know the
Yeah,
bao
yeah.
buns? With
Oh,
the,
yeah.
Okay,
the
yeah.
fluffy buns?
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Big
It's
fan.
Good. And she just, I'm pregnant. I'm like, damn, what?
Come on.
Was she
can't make this
drinking?
shit up. Oh, yeah.
No.
Wow.
Just recently arrested, Baker acted pregnant.
You didn't look that up before.
Yeah,
you
dude,
went on-
this is why you started
I wasn't at the
researching your
time.
dates.
Oh, I wasn't researching at that time, but we had a great night. we really did. I just said, fuck it. You know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, I mean,
Well, that's
not
good.
my kid.
Yeah. That's the first.
Was there a
pregnant
second date?
No, God, no.
What was your initial response whenever she said I'm pregnant?
Choked on the bao bun. I was like, oh, well, how long? You know, just like I could maintain a little bit of a conversation. You know, just talking about good parenting practices and just C-section. No. I was like, a couple Casamigos, please.
What's your go-to drink when you go out?
Casamigos.
Yeah?
Or, I mean, if I'm trying to slow it, it's High Noon. But,
Okay,
yeah.
noons are nice.
For a minute, like, Datura didn't have High Noon, and they have those other ones. Cheeky Wow, what are they called?
Topo
The
Chico.
one with the pink- yeah, I can't
Or
pronounce that
Cheeto?
shit.
Or Topo Chico?
Topo Chico.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't do that. I couldn't, like, it's disgusting.
You're a tequila guy.
I like tequila, yes.
What if you could take a shot? It's gonna be tequilas too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
You like the clear stuff or the brown stuff?
Oh, well, like Casa Reposado is really
Fire,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
But
been trying to get Nick on it. He's not sold yet.
Oh, the brown stuff I hate.
Here's the sneaky right now. I call it's espresso martini, but it's daddy style. I call it. It's an espresso martini with Casa Reposado.
Damn.
It is
Probably
amazing.
banging.
So it's the same, just with the brown stuff.
Well, an espresso martini would normally be vodka.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Oh my
okay.
God.
Does it really?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really good.
Get you frisky.
Yeah,
Sounds like
yeah, be hanging out with pregnant.
Are you
bubble
are
girls.
you are you a dancer when you go
No,
out?
God, no.
Yeah.
No shot.
You like post it up on the wall watching?
Well, now that you put it that way.
Or do you like, you're just going to like stand there and like kind of.
I just stand there and look awkward as shit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I feel like I've danced at 4 before, whatever
Okay.
that would be called.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Whatever that would be called.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's dark in there.
It's funny because I see these videos that like Reed puts up of like 4.
Yeah.
But like you're not in the scene. Like I see him at 7 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
It just doesn't seem that crazy. But then you're there and you're in the moment. And it's like completely
nuts.
different world. Exactly.
Yeah.
It was insane. Like this past weekend, it was packed, and I know like at one point it was like a little, maybe too packed. And I for some reason it was just like push Kevin night. I was getting shoved by everybody, and like
Push Kevin.
and like I
Did you
get
have
it.
the daddy martini in your hand?
I'm hip thrusting with it. No.
Yeah.
But then this kid screws up, and it's the same. Then I get pushed. Like I get straight up. Like you could honestly drop an elbow and run into me, as long as the rule is if you just say excuse me
my
or
bad.
sorry.
Yeah, right.
Like I literally will move people aside, but I'll say, "Yo, my bad, bro," and like
Right,
I'll
right.
whisper in the air, like, "Oh, you're looking good."
Yeah.
But this kid,
You got a ticket?
yeah, your license is suspended, baby. But no, this same kid pushes me. I'm like, oh God, and I was just like, I don't know.
You good, bro?
I did, and I don't normally do that. I was like, dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, who the fuck are you? I was like, oh God.
I will sue your ass to Kingdom Come.
Oh God.
It went really well. No, it was a great night. No, it was really good. Yeah. Good
What's
kid.
the inside thing? It might not be inside thing with the aliens at Ford. What is?
What?
It just became like a mascot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I see that thing. Yeah. Is that? Do they wipe that with like
Probably not.
That thing is.
The cleaning crew does
God.
every night.
They scrub the alien.
Yeah.
I can't. I wish I could see that.
Wow. I have no idea.
When does the cleaning crew come in? 4?
No, they come in at like 6, 7 in the morning.
Really?
Turn that place around quick.
When is it open? 11?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Like 4 p.m. Depends. What
Oh,
day.
so they're closed all day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Pete, you got anything?
This one's more of a personal one. Do you have a dog, Kev?
No.
No.
A dog?
Dog, yeah.
No.
Are you a dog guy?
It depends on the dog,
Yeah, that's fair.
but I grew up with cats.
Okay. No
But
problem.
I
Yeah, that's
fuck with
okay.
dogs. Like I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
dogs, but I don't love dogs. Like if I see a dog, I'm like, oh man, a dog. I'm like,
It's just there.
Yeah.
Oh man, a dog. So I might get a little smoke for this one, but I'm torn, man. I walk Bruce many times a day. He usually poops twice a day.
Oh, you don't pick it up?
I live in a neighborhood full of dog poop landmines everywhere. There's dog poop everywhere.
Yeah.
Fuck do I look like picking up my dog's poop when I'm tiptoeing around everyone else's dog's poop?
Yeah.
But am I fucked? Like, her brother says I'm part of the problem because I don't pick mine up either. Am I wrong? And I mean, I know the answer. I am wrong. I should pick it up.
Maybe you start the change. you
Yeah,
know?
but no one's watching. No one else is going to be like, oh, he's a good example. I'll pick mine up too.
do you not want to pick up the?
No, I don't want to.
So here's I'll answer. I'll give you a little bit of free advice. What I do is when I
You're such an attorney.
I don't like it either because I used to have a dog when I lived with Gabe.
Okay.
We had Mako,
Yeah.
a husky. Love that dog. But I would take him to the park, and then what I would do is when he did it, I would walk up to it and I would just bend over,
Pretend.
and then I would just, I would flick the grass a little bit, just
yeah.
my
nice
God.
grass,
So-
and then just go.
That's it.
Morally, I don't really have any issues, Like, personally, like I said, if I'm tiptoeing around all the dog poop in the grass, you've got me fucked up if you think I need to pick mine up too.
No, fuck that.
Here's the thing. My neighborhood's different. If it's a property that, like,
You're pooping on someone else's yard.
yeah.
Yeah.
But,
That I would feel a little
if the
disrespect.
yard is, like, super not clean and, like, rubbish everywhere,
Yeah.
we'll let it go.
Just let it
I'll do
slide.
the fake pickup, you know?
You do the fake book?
But
I thought I was
it
the one
depends.
doing that.
No. I'm lucky I have a yard where she's on like a normal shit schedule, so that's whatever. But I'll do the fake pickup if it's a yard that's pristine and I know people like go and check their yard every day.
Yeah.
Because I did have a neighbor. I was born and raised in this neighborhood too. I did have a neighbor who had her dog shit in her yard every fucking day.
Yeah.
And like it was just loads of dog shit.
Right.
And
If it was a person's yard, I would feel maybe a little different.
yeah.
But this is like no man's land that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like this isn't anyone's. No one's kids are running around here. Like
Yeah.
no one really has any business being here unless they're walking a dog and it's gonna poop.
I would say it's good for the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I just don't like poop though. Like
No, me neither.
like again, I'm
I
a
don't like
barbarian.
stepping on it, and I don't like it in my
hate
hand.
do you fuck with porta potties?
No.
Hate
I don't.
them,
We
dude.
know this, dude. I don't
I
poop
have a-
anywhere
I have
except
a
my
gag
own
reflex.
toilet.
I've almost puked in a porta potty before. Here's a good question: if you're at like a music concert or something like that, you're in a porta potty and
Leave.
you absolutely
Just
drop you accidentally drop your iPhone in there. Are you going down there to pick it up?
I think it's gone.
it's
It's
gone.
gone.
Really?
Yeah, your insurance covers that.
No.
Total loss.
I think I'm going in.
No,
What?
no.
But I don't know how I have nothing to wash it with. Like
Yeah,
So
you're right.
What are you doing?
I think I'm going in after it.
You're not thinking
It's
like you
submerged.
just have to-
Like
I'm not gonna drop imagine dropping $1,000. I don't have insurance on this bitch. I got an OtterBox, bitch.
It doesn't protect
Yeah.
against the porta potty.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah.
you're going in.
Honestly, it depends on the status of the porta potty.
I mean,
too.
if it's like sticking out
If
of
there's
the
a
debris
mountain
and
of
I can go like this,
What?
then yeah, I'll snag it out of there like this.
It'd be different
But
it
if
was
it's
$1,000
submerged.
in cash.
if it's $1,000 in cash, I'm going in. I'll go head first in that.
All right,
bitch.
so let's change the question then. If it's $1,000 wad of cash,
I'm not going in the Port-O-Potty. I mean,
You never got in the Port-O-Potty to begin with.
if I'm at LA Fitness and I have to do that, I leave. It's the workout's done. Flick off. The
Really?
Apple Watch.
Yeah.
No
You
shot.
only shit in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't shit in public areas at all?
I mean, it depends, like, the public area and, like...
You're
ever
at a bar.
pooped at 1, 2, 3?
You're at 4 at 2 a.m. and you're like, dude, I got liquor shits.
No, never.
Really?
Never.
You will go home just to shit.
Honestly, like, knock on wood, I don't ever
Get the
have
urge.
to do that at that time. Like, I hope this isn't, like, gonna jinx anything, but yeah, I'm leaving. Like,
I'm sending JoJo to work with laxatives next time.
no, please
He's
don't.
gonna start spiking your drinks.
It's like, I didn't order the Reposado, JoJo. Why is this silver looking a little brown? Why is it bubbling?
Why is it bubbling?
I didn't order fizzy. No shot. Like, the things I've seen people do in bathrooms, like 2 bathrooms, like peeing, I don't know. It's, no shot. Leaving. Gone.
Yeah.
See, I guess I'm an anomaly. I don't.
Yeah.
You don't care?
With the exception of a porta-potty, I hate porta-potties. With the exception, I'll shit anywhere. Yeah, I'll shit Target, Walmart, anywhere. You know.
I almost feel like a porta potty could arguably be cleaner in some scenarios. Than
It's the smell and the ambiance.
No.
It's hot in the air. You're
Yeah.
looking at piles of shit.
Right.
You know.
No, I agree.
If I do go like number 1 in a porta potty,
Yeah.
and it's funny because like you're talking about like how you're gonna dig it out, and you're like kind of disgusting. I've never looked inside of that. I
Yeah.
close my eyes, and to answer, I don't even close the door all the way because lack of airflow. Somebody could also knock over the porta potty if they have like a tractor. You never know. So I just keep it open a little bit. You can see me in there. Like you can't see my pishka, but I'm getting.
Someone might have a tractor.
Are you a wet wipe guy? You look like a wet
yeah,
wipe guy.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Sick, dude.
Always.
When did you start wet wipes?
Since what? Do we want to look at when the company was established, or? What kind of question is that? Like, honestly, you've been killing the questions this whole time. So how are you gonna ask? When did you start eating? Literally, I was gonna ask like amazing podcast host.
You've been killing the questions.
All right, guys, that is it.
Oh my god, that was funny.
Wow, that answers that, Kevin. Because I'm recently a wet wipe guy. You know?
What month was it? It was May of 2020 when I first.
Oh my gosh. Guys, if you have a DUI or a problem, or you would like some legal advice, please hit up Kevin.
Please.
He is an amazing guy on and off the court. You like that? That was nice.
That was good.
And just overall, just an awesome guy. From the first time I met him, I could tell he was great. And he's even better after having a conversation with him.
Thank you.
We'll put Kevin's information in on the bio when we post this, guys. But no, in all seriousness, if you do have any legal questions, or I've known not a bunch of buddies, but I've known people have DUIs, and you're in a pinch and you don't know where to go, please hit up Kevin. He's a great guy, and we love to support that.
Drive safe too.
Please do. Take the fucking Uber. It's like $20.
It's too easy.
And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you guys for watching, listening, and subscribing, and tuning in. This is Kevin.
How you doing? Thank you.
Peace.
Yeah. Pour juices out of soda, turn it over, watch it sing. Yeah. Sometimes it might be purple, sometimes it might be that pink. Probably roll that purple diesel, that shit Cuban like my links. But I really like that Cali, cause that shit don't make me trip. Rather flip a boba, nigga, I still serve a zip. I remember being broken, I was down bad on my dick. And she used to call me ugly, now let shawty let me hit. Wait, well maybe it's just bully, got a nigga confident. Remember all them dreams that I had when I was legit. They're like, yeah, I love the streets, but I'm still gon' go legit. Cause you know I need that German with that brand new fucking tip. Fell in love with them foreigns, watching a nigga Euro step. Got me feeling like I'm hardened, cause I'm plugged in with the ref. Like if you touch me wrong, you might get hit with this tech. Let them birds fly like a nigga crossing west. And And I swear they broke my heart when I seen them. But that shit, it made me strong. Now I'm right back on my best. Like bitches, leave me alone. Why I get linked on this text? Like little bitches, leave me alone. Unless you gonna drop that neck. Like little bitches, leave me alone. Unless you talking about a check. Pour deuces out of soda, turn it over, watch it sink. Yeah, sometimes it might be purple, sometimes it might be that pink. Probably roll that purple diesel, that shit Cuban like my links. But I really love that Cali, cause that shit don't make me trip. Pour deuces out of soda, turn it over, watch it sink. Yeah, sometimes it might be purple, sometimes it might be that pink. Probably roll that purple diesel, that shit Cuban like my links. But I really love that Cali, cause that shit don't make me trip. Yeah.